If we can convince you that your work is to get on the high-flying disc, and that's the path, so let's talk about some ways of doing that. We said to you that it's easier earlier in the day, before things have happened that then activate within you old thoughts and old pipes. So Esther is asking herself that question, sitting, reaching for it, and saying to us, so Abraham. It was more like, so Abraham. So I just pull this out of thin air, is that what you're saying? I just sit here in my beingness and I just reach for the high flying disc, just pull it out of thin air. And we say, well, now that you're talking like this, that's not likely. That's not likely. There's already a momentum going that makes just it occurring to you unlikely. So what are some things that make you feel better? Well, Esther thought about music makes her feel better. Specific music makes her feel really good. A few years ago, we made a meditation CD that has sort of weird music that causes you to breathe in a rhythm that's not exactly normal, which causes you to focus in a way that you haven't focused before. That will take you to your high-flying disc because it will distract you from whatever was keeping you from that high-flying disc. Because if you have decided to do it, concentrating on that meditative music, which is different than anything that you've heard before, which causes a rhythm of breathing that is different than you've ever breathed before, it will distract you from whatever was keeping you there, and it will be more likely that your cork will float right to the surface. And then the affirmations, the words that were specifically chosen, that we put onto that recording, expecting that you would be on that high-flying disc, then those words that were spoken on the subject of abundance, there are different categories, but on the subject of abundance, will cause you to be on that place of non-resistance at the same time that you're listening to what the source within you knows about the subject. In other words, these kinds of things cause you to practice that vibration. The process of meditation, where you deliberately just quiet your mind, even if you're not listening to the recording that we've provided, is also a way of going about that. Doing anything that is pleasurable to you. If you like to float in the more buoyant water of the ocean, then float in the buoyant water of the ocean. If it feels good when you're in the hot tub, then get in the hot tub. In other words, purposefully do those things that you feel fairly certain will give you the best opportunity to be on that high-flying disc. And so what happens in all of this kind of self-conversation is you're making these statements to the universe. I've decided that I'm going to be on the high-flying disc because I've decided that the high-flying disc is the path of least resistance to everything that I want. And so when you use that determination that you used before to do the only thing that matters, which is to find that vibration, will you find it instantly? Do you find it instantly? Usually not. Even Esther, with all she's heard and all she knows, sometimes efforts a little to get on the disc. She's been doing focus wheels to get on the disc. And she says, am I efforting too much? And we say, anything that causes you to focus. We think you've made it about as elementary as you can make it when you decide that my predominant work in this day is to figure out how to feel good for a minute. That's as elementary as it gets. It's as basis as it gets. It's as basic as it gets. It's as life-giving as it gets. It's as productive as it gets. And we promise you that momentum in its purity will lead to more, will lead to more, will lead to more, will lead to more. And along that will be a path of lesser and lesser and lesser resistance, and then a path to more money than you have any sensible use for.